afternoon, this is Tony Dashwood from balancedwine.co.uk and today I want to talk to you about a few gadgets and bits and pieces associated with wine and appreciating wine. And the first thing I want to talk about is the glass itself, and the perfect glass for tasting wine and appreciating wine is something shaped like this. It's a tulip shaped glass, and the whole idea here is that you would put about maybe a quarter to a third full. You wouldn't fill it certainly, or you'll be 2 sheets to the wind before you finish. But that allows then, gives you plenty of room for swirling the wine, and also then the shape of the glass actually keeps the aromas in and concentrates the aromas so that you can really appreciate the wine from the glass. So what about opening the wine? Well, there's a couple of standard corkscrews, and this is the most standard. It's the lever arm. Personally, I don't like these that much, and I find that they tend to destroy the corks and on occasions leave half the cork in there. So my favourite is the traditional waiter's friend 2-piece lever, and you've got everything here to open a wine, and I think it looks a little bit more professional as well. So we have today, I've got a Côte d'Or Village. This one had a Médaille d'Or, a golden medal from the Paris exhibition in 2015, the wine fair in 2015, not the Paris exhibition. And this is a very nice Côte d'Or. So to open it, first of all we use the knife and just cut just above the rim, going all the way around, and just flip that off. Clean the bottle if it needs to, and this one's absolutely fine. And close the knife or else you'll have your finger off. The corkscrew itself is, and it's important to get a corkscrew which has the complete spiral and is not just wound round. But a corkscrew like that is perfect. So get a nice little start in the centre of the bottle. Corkscrew pretty much all the way in. Now this is a 2-lever one, so you actually have 2 positions on there. On this one you just press that in. So start the pull the wine and then just go up to the second part, and there you are, a perfectly pulled bottle of wine. Perfectly pulled cork from a bottle of wine. Another thing I want to talk to you about is decanting, red wines especially. And I would absolutely recommend that you decant any red wine from the cheapest £4.99 bottle up to the most expensive. It's not necessarily to get sediment out, which less expensive bottles and younger bottles are unlikely to have any sediment in there, but it's more to allow oxygen and aeration of the wine. Oxygen is the curse of wine while it's in the bottle, and that's why you'll get corked wine sometimes if a cork actually fails. But once you've opened the bottle, you actually want to get a bit of oxygen in there. So you can either decant. If you haven't got a decanter, then you can just pour it into a jug and then pour that jug back into the bottle. But you'll go to some restaurants and they say, oh, I'll leave that to just breathe for you, sir. But in reality, that's not going to do any good whatsoever, because you've only got a very small surface area in the bottle, and the amount of oxygen then that wine is going to see is just negligible, and it's not going to do any good whatsoever. So you actually need to get some oxygen into there. And I would recommend that you get an aerator. Now you can get these on Amazon or eBay or Marks and Spencer's or any decent high street chain store. And the whole idea of this, while it has a tea strainer type strainer for taking any sediment out, then it has 2 holes drilled into the side, and this creates a vortex effect. So as you pour the wine through here, and that will go into the decanter, then it aerates the whole bottle by pulling air into these two little holes, creating a vortex, and you get a real good slurping sound. If you haven't got a decanter, I have one of these, and it's exactly the same thing, but it's a little bit smaller. Again, it has your little tea strainer in there, and on this one you can just put the glass underneath and just pour yourself a glass. And listen to the sound of this. Isn't that wonderful? So I would recommend always getting an aerator. I've dripped on my finger. Oh, delicious. Now let's have a little swirl. So I put in there about a third of a glass, something like that. Give it a good swirl round, and you can see that it's plenty of room there for the wine to rise up the glass. This is concentrating the aromas in there. And that's beautiful, beautiful. Really ripe cherries in there. Bit of vanilla, we're seeing a bit of oak, but anyway, this isn't really about the tasting, this is about the gadgets. Oh, couldn't resist, that is lovely actually. Must do a review of that wine at some time. So, you may not ever have a bottle with any content left in, but if you have, and I often have 2 or 3 bottles open over a few days depending on what I'm eating, but if you have, then the ideal way to seal this is with this little gadget here, which is a little suction pump, and these cost, I don't know, about a tenner. Again, you can get them on eBay or Amazon, and it's called a vacuum bin. And it creates a little vacuum in there, and it comes with these little rubber buns, and the way it works there, apply the pump at the top, a few pumps, and now can you hear it clicking? As soon as it clicks, then that is sealed, and you've got a vacuum in there. And anything with, I don't know, a little bit less than half a bottle or so, this will work really well. I'd also recommend, if you are going to store it for a day or so, to actually put that in the fridge, and it'll last, you know, a day or two longer even then. But bring it out with a red wine well in advance to let the temperature come up. But even as it is, that'll last for 4 days, 5 days. And if I just give a little bit, you can hear the vacuum that's held in. So that's a few little gadgets. I hope you find that helpful. They're all very cheap. I'll be back later and perhaps do a review of this wine here. So it's Tony Dashwood. Look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you very much.